Okay. Welcome to your yoga practice. We will begin by laying on our backs. Start with your knees bent. Allow the heaviness of the bones to settle and connect you to the earth. And then if it feels comfortable to extend the heels away from the crown of the head, you can do that. If that causes any discomfort in the lower back, remember you can always bend the knees, round the feet as wide as the mat, and let the knees fall in towards each other. So the low back is supported and the legs can relax. Whatever variation of the pose you choose, take a moment to bring your awareness to your breath. Notice the quality of the breath in this moment. Notice if the chest feels tight or open. If the breath is short or long. If the inhales or the exhales bear more weight. And begin to connect more deeply to your breath. Bring the awareness to the diaphragm. And as you inhale, feel it expand downward. As you exhale, feel the front body. Vivian, shut your door. Soften towards the back body and spread wide across the floor. Allow the next inhale to take the awareness all the way down, past the diaphragm to the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. And as you exhale, observe how the legs fall open and rest against the floor. Notice if one hip is a little bit tighter than the other, causing the leg to ground more towards the center of the heel as opposed to the outside. If you find that in your body, send a breath there, consciously asking that hip to soften, release, and let go. With your next inhale, expand the breath all the way into the top of the lungs, behind the collarbone. And as you exhale, sink more deeply into the support of the ground beneath you. Next inhale, breathing the awareness all the way up into the shoulders, the neck, and the face. And as you exhale, once again, noticing if one shoulder is tighter, held up away from the ground, hand resting towards the pinky side more. If you discover an imbalance in the body, send the breath there. Inhale, create space. Exhale, consciously ask the body to soften, release, and let go. So we will cultivate a relationship with the back body plane today as we work to activate the third eye center, the mind's eye, our center of creative visualization, of receiving our dreams and intuitions. Learning to connect with, trust, and manage the back body. Something that we cannot see with the physical eyes is one way that we can use the practice to begin to activate the third eye. Taking a moment now to bring your awareness to the mind. Notice where your thoughts are at. Observe the speed at which they move through you. Allow yourself to step back from identifying as the thoughts and begin to witness their passing through the mind like clouds through the sky, without getting attached or carried away, without judging yourself for what you're thinking about, but beginning to observe the habits and patterns in the way the mind turns. And then bring the awareness back and anchor it fully on the breath. Have a few more of those deep, long breaths, filling the whole body from the inside out like a balloon as you inhale. And sinking into the support of the ground beneath you, connecting to the universal blueprint for optimal alignment. Bones and joints stacked in the back body plane as you exhale. And we'll take a moment to stretch the legs, laying on our backs. So you can draw the right knee into the chest and interlace the hands behind the right thigh. Extend the left heel out along the mat and the right heel up towards the ceiling. We are pressing out through both heels to lengthen the back of the legs, and then pressing through the balls of both feet to engage the calves and the quadriceps. The whole midline of our left leg presses firmly towards the floor, and the right leg presses into the hands, lengthening the tailbone away from the crown of the head. Maintaining that length and space, that balance and evenness in the grounding of the lower back, begin to draw the leg more actively towards yourself. Have 5 deep, long breaths, breathing into those places that feel tight and sore and stuck. And as you exhale, completely softening more deeply into the stretch. And we're using the awareness of the 4 corners of the body and the central channel of the spine to cultivate a balance and evenness from the inside out. So this action of the thigh bone to lengthen the lower back is very important and will be reoccurring in many, if not all, of the shapes. With an exhale, you can release that leg to the mat, shimmy out the hips a little bit, pause and observe the different sensations and the different sides of your body. And then with an inhale, draw the left knee into the chest. Interlace the hands behind the left thigh. Press up through the left heel. As you press out through the right heel, press through the balls of both feet and root both thigh bones down in their respective directions. Back of the right knee, whole midline of the right leg hugging firmly towards the floor. Pressing the left thigh bone into the hands to create length and space in the lower back on the left side. Balance and evenness in the grounding of the pelvis on both sides. Draw that leg more actively towards yourself for 5 more deep, long breaths. Allowing the breath to work its magic of creating space as you inhale and facilitating release and letting go as you exhale. Connecting with that action of the thigh bone that creates space, balance in the lower 2 corners of the body. And with an exhale, release the leg to the mat. Again, you can shimmy out the hips, observe the body for the moment, and then draw the knees into the chest. Rock gently from side to side to massage the low back. And with an exhale, roll onto the right side. Press down with the palms to lift up. Come to a comfortable seated position. Keep your eyes closed for just another moment. And check back in. Build your shape from the ground up, looking for that same alignment that we created laying on our backs. It might feel good to inner rotate the thigh bones and move the flesh of the buttocks out. You want to feel and find that both sits bones at the base of the pelvis are pressing down evenly. If the pelvis tilts back and then the shoulders are rounded, that means you've got to roll the thigh bones back, move the flesh of the buttocks out, and if that isn't enough, sit up on a block, a blanket, a pillow to give you the lift to find the neutral alignment of the pelvis perpendicular to the earth. If the pelvis isn't aligned, the upper body cannot get aligned, right? By pressing down, we work with equal and opposite forces. We lift up through the crown of the head and the tips of the ears. Roll the shoulders together down and into the back body to fully open and broaden the collarbone and chest. And then slide your jawbone back, because we're usually here. So if we roll our shoulders back, often our head is just still forward. Slide the jawbone back, stack the neck over the spine. Lift the tips of the ears. The third eye center between the brows and in the center of the head should stack over the palate and the heart, which stacks over the hips. Good. So today we're focusing on the 6th chakra, the third eye. Really cultivating our capacity to connect to our dreams and intuitions, and to use the threefold power of our vision. First, to see clearly through the surface layer and level, the pretty shiny presentation of reality, to the energetics of what is going on below, which operates in the subconscious and unconscious realms of our deepest, darkest fears and things that we I think are scary and bad and ugly, and therefore we don't want to look at. We have to be really honest with ourselves and really willing to see the truth of the matter below the surface, and at the same time hold our dreams, visions in our mind's eye. This is both for our goals of ourselves individually, but also for how we would like our society to grow and evolve and progress. We hold these two things simultaneously, and we align the physical body. We start to clear out our judgments, expectations, limitations, projections, so that we can receive guidance and support and inspiration from the universe that helps us to see the next right step, the actions we can take in this moment that will move us from where we truthfully are, the good, the bad, and the ugly of it, to these dreams and intuitions. Understanding that we have to hold that threefold complexity of dream, vision, and intuition in our mind's eye at once. So in this practice, we begin by working with the physical body, by expanding our awareness to be in our toes and our shoulders and our fingertips all at once. And as we practice holding and embodying this complexity, it has ripple effects outwards. We begin to be able to hold and embody complexity within our relationships, with our friends and family and people we love. And then to begin to hold and embody and work with complexity in the world around us, in our communities, in how we work together to move towards creating our dreams and intuitions. So we will practice throughout the practice today, closing our eyes so that we more and more begin to feel the awareness of balance and centeredness from within ourselves, so that we are not so reliant on the physical eyes to feel stable. I forget what else I was gonna say, so let's go. You can inhale and reach your arms up and overhead. And exhale through the mouth with sound. Let go. Good. Inhale deeply again, stretching past the skin and fingertips. And as you exhale, completely release. Good. We'll do that one more time. Clearing the body out energetically. And then we will inhale to prepare for the sound of Om 3 times together. Good. Pausing to observe the vibrations as they resonate through the body, particularly noticing where they get stuck, where the body constricts and resists the sound. All of these practices just helping us gather information about what is going on within us so that we can make adjustments to bring more balance, more ease and space and freedom into our bodies and into our lives. We will do a pranayama. We'll do Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, to bring balance to these sides of the body, hemispheres of the brain, all of the seemingly opposing forces within and around us, the darkness and the light, the individual and the collective, that actually work together to create balance and stability. So you'll bring your right hand up by your face, fold your pointer and your middle fingers down. We'll be using the thumb to block the right nostril, the ring and the pinky finger to block the left nostril alternately. First, just inhale deeply through the nose, lift and lengthen through the crown. Focus your gaze on the third eye center as you soften the shoulders down. Block the right nostril with the thumb and inhale left. Switch, exhale right. Inhale right. Switch, exhale left. Inhale left. Switch, exhale right. Inhale right. Switch, exhale left. Inhale left. Switch, exhale right. Inhale right. Switch, exhale left. Do one more round on your own. Noticing if one side is tighter, more clogged than the other. Remembering that the left side is the moon side, dark, feminine, creative, intuitive side. And the right side is the sun side, light, masculine, logical, analytical side. The next time you exhale on the left, return to the normal breath. And again, just pause to feel the effects of the pranayama, the breath work, on the energy in the body. When you are ready, you can inhale and gently open your eyes. And we'll come onto all fours. Spread your fingers wide. Ground your knees right under your hips. As you inhale, drop the abdomen down. Lift the tailbone and the gaze up. As you exhale, press down and curl your spine to the ceiling. Continue at your own pace. Syncing the motions of the body with the breath. Use the breath to deepen the motions of the body. And move it any way that feels good to you. Within the confines of the shapes. Allowing the mind to connect and receive the wisdom of the body. This is where we begin to learn to listen. Remembering to honor your body through your practice, especially since there isn't a teacher physically present. Listen to the signs and signals to keep yourself safe. When you are ready, you can tuck your toes, lift your hips high, and press back into downward facing dog. Take a moment to pedal your feet, sway your hips, move in any way that feels good to you here. Get those wiggles out, and then find some stillness. Make sure that the hands and feet are evenly grounded, and then close your eyes. Scan your body from the ground up. Noticing any areas that feel constricted, compressed, jammed up. That's a sign that you need to make some adjustments. From the base of the pose, play with inhaling and lifting and spreading the fingers and toes. Feel how that draws the energy in and up, activating the forearms and shins. Spread the fingers and toes out and ground them down. From that grounding into the four corners of the hands and feet, we get the leverage to inhale and lift the abdomen towards the spine and lift the hips high. As you exhale, press the thigh bones up and back to where the wall meets the ceiling. Feeling that space that's created in the lower back. Allow your head to hang heavy. Feeling how that space and shape in the lower back is reflected in the space and shape in the neck. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Taking a moment to identify any expectations, limitations, judgments, projections that are holding you back and keeping you small. Try to hone in concretely on just one, and then inhale deeply through the nose, and exhale completely through the mouth with sound. Let it go. Inhale, fold forward into your plank pose and pause here. With the hips at the height of the shoulders, root the tailbone down towards the heels. Final lift from the underside of the pose, lifting the abdomen to meet the spine and the back of the ribs to meet the shoulder blades. Lift the back of the head so the neck is in line with the spine. Roll the shoulders down the back and extend through the heels and the crown of the head. Have 1 more big breath. And exhale, lower the knees, the chest, and the chin to the mat. Press the tops of the feet down. And inhale, lift the heart. Roll the shoulders back. Everything on the mat presses firmly down into the mat to lift the heart and crown. The shoulders roll together down and in towards the spine. And notice if there's a place in your neck where you just crunch and try to take the whole bend. Drop the chin to the chest a little bit. Slide the jawbone back. Cultivate that uniform curve. Lengthen space through the whole central channel. With an exhale, seat to heels. Come back into child's pose. Placing the forehead on the floor to stimulate the third eye center. If that is straining your neck, feel free to place a pillow, a blanket, a block under the forehead to support the neck a little bit. You can sway the hips from side to side if that feels good. Even if the hips don't touch the heels, there's a grounding energy of the lower body that gives us the equal and opposite leverage to inhale, walk the fingertips forward, and exhale, breathe, lengthen space into each vertebrae in the spine. We're going to take a moment here to plant a seed, to call on a dream, to set an intention that can be either for just you and you alone, or for the world as we move forward. But curled up in this little ball, like a seed, take a moment to speak it out loud to yourself. And then with an inhale, rise, hands and knees, arch the back, gaze up. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips high, press back, downward facing dog. Return to your breath. As you inhale, lift and spread the fingers and toes. Lift the abdomen towards the spine. Lift the hips high. As you exhale, thigh bones up and back to where the wall meets the ceiling. Settling from the back of the knees down through the heels as you lift from the back of the knees up to the sits bones. Allow the head to hang heavy. Drawing the shoulders together down and into the back body. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And then with an inhale, begin to walk the feet forward to meet the hands. Coming into that standing forward bend at the front of the mat. Let your head hang heavy. If it feels good to bend the knees, feel free to do that. Shake the head out, yes and no. Grab opposite elbows and sway. Move in any way that feels good to you to release the tension from the back, the shoulders, and the neck. Letting it drain out of the crown of the head. Letting go of everything you think you know to make space to receive more. With an inhale, return to center. And exhale, through the mouth with sound, release the arms down. Next inhale, begin to roll up. Pelvis spins around the femur bones, vertebrae stack, shoulders and head are the last things to rise. Good. So just taking a moment now in Tadasana, mountain pose, to look for that same alignment that we created laying on our backs. Outer edge of the feet parallel with outer edge of the mat, turning the femur into the hip socket all the way up the leg. Stick your booty out a little bit, thigh bones back, center of the hips, come over the knees and ankles. Keep that as you draw the center of the buttocks into the midline to root the tailbone down. Feel the energy extend from the pelvis through the heels, the 4 corners of the feet, connecting you firmly to the earth, giving you the leverage to inhale and lift the pelvic triangle in and up, the crown of the head, the tips of the ears. Turn the biceps forward and feel how that rolls the shoulders back. Slide the jawbone back. Stack the neck over the spine. Feel and find that lightness that comes into your body when everything is in alignment. And with an inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale through, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, lift the abdomen, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back to plank pose. Find that lift from the underside of the pose and maintain that one line of energy through the body. Maybe you want to use the knees to support yourself. As you shift the weight forward and bend the elbows straight back to 90 degrees. Press the top of the feet down. Inhale, lift the heart. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Return to your breath. Scanning the body from the ground up. And noticing any areas that are tight and sore and stuck, that feel jammed up. Play around with what adjustments you can make. to create more space there. 3 more deep, long breaths. With an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Get length through the spine. Exhale, fold more deeply into the legs. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. Good, we're gonna bring the feet all the way together now, but connecting to that same alignment. As you inhale, reach the arms up and overhead and rise onto the balls of the feet. Everything hugs into the midline of the body. Center of the buttocks and low ribs hug in. Lift through the fingertips, the crown of the head. Find a focal point to steady your gaze, and then soften the eyes back. Lastly, play with closing your eyes for 3 more deep, long breaths. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, gaze forward, get length. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back to plank. Find that lift from the underside of the pose and maintain it as you exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, lift the heart. Roll the shoulders back. Find that uniform curve in the spine. Exhale, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Return to your breath. With an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Get length through the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. Tadasana, mountain pose. One more time with the feet together. Inhale, reach up and rise onto the balls of the feet. Hug everything into the midline of the body. Find that stacking of the bones and joints. Find a focal point to steady your gaze. Soften the eyes back. Close your eyes, 3 breaths. Keep your eyes closed as you exhale and fold forward. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back to plank and lower. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lift the hips. Press back, downward facing dog. Return to your breath. And maybe you want to open your eyes and peek at your alignment in this moment. I usually find that my body goes really crooked when I try to do a sun salutation with my eyes closed. So just making a mental note of, what hand moves forward, what side of the mat you gravitate towards. Just gathering your information about what's happening in your body. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply into the legs. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. This time, arms reach up. Inhale, drop the seat, chair pose. Same alignment, sticking the booty out, thigh bones back, it gets you low. Center of the buttocks draws into the midline to lift the torso. Still leaning into the back body to stack the vertebrae. The palate, or the third eye, over the palate and the heart. Have one more breath. And exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, gaze forward, get length. Exhale, ground the palm, step or jump back to plank. Choosing your own adventure, you can move through a vinyasa or come to down dog. Either way, keeping your awareness on your breath. Honoring your body, finding the balance of effort and ease. With an inhale, lift your right leg high. Lift from the inner thigh, the center of the heel. Press that left thigh bone back to find balance and evenness in the pelvis. And then breathe that balance and evenness into both side bodies and sides of the neck. With an exhale, step that right foot through between the hands and inhale, rise, warrior one, at the top of the breath. Drawing the legs energetically towards each other. Root the tailbone down to lift the abdomen, the heart, and the crown. With an exhale, interlace the hands behind you. Inhale, lift the abdomen and the sternum. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Coming down into bowing warrior on the inside edge of that front knee. Scan your body from the ground up. Make the adjustments you need to make to cultivate balance. Let the head hang heavy, shoulders drawn down the back, arms drawing towards the front of the room. One more big breath. And exhale, release. Ground the palms, step back. Move through a vinyasa or come to downward facing dog. Keeping the eyes closed if it's possible. Keeping the awareness on the breath. Inhale that left leg high. Lift from the inner thigh in the center of the heel. Right thigh bone back. Scan the body from the ground up. If things are compressed and jammed up, play around and make adjustments. With an exhale, step that left foot through between the hands and inhale, rise, warrior one, top of your breath. Hug the legs energetically towards each other. Inner rotating that back thigh. Tailbone roots down. Lift the frontal hip bones, the crown of the head and the tips of the ears. With an exhale, interlace the hands, switching out the crossing of the fingers behind your back. Inhale, lift the abdomen and the heart. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Coming down on the inside edge of that front knee for bowing warrior. Cultivate that balance and evenness in the pelvis that allows you to breathe length and space into both side bodies and sides of the neck. Head hangs heavy. Shoulders draw down the back away from the ears as the arms draw towards the front of the room, opening up. One more big breath here. And exhale, release. Ground the palms, step back. Move through a vinyasa or come to down dog or child's pose. Wherever you're working, return that awareness to the breath and cultivate the balance and evenness in the breath. That brings balance and evenness into the heart rate and the speed of the thoughts through the mind. If you've been working with the eyes closed, feel free to peek And notice what's happening in the body. Make adjustments to return it to center. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. And with an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Get length through the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, drop the seat, arms reach up, chair pose. Exhale, stand tall. Tadasana, mountain pose. Again, inhale, arms reach up. Drop the seat, chair. Booty out to get low. Center of the buttocks into the midline to lift up. Lifting through the crown of the head and the fingertips. Soften the shoulders down the back. And soften the low ribs down and back. Still stacking the bones and joints in the back body plane. One more big breath. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back to plank. Come to down dog or move through your vinyasa with awareness on creating length and space in the whole spine. Inhale that right leg high. Exhale, bend the knees, stack the hips, open up through the side body plane. As you inhale, the abdomen and the right knee lift. As you exhale, that left thigh bone presses back, still creating balance and evenness in the lower back. Finding that balance and evenness in the side bodies and sides of the neck. Inhale that leg back up to center. Exhale, step it through between the hands. Inhale, rise, warrior one at the top of your breath. Exhale, open to the side. Warrior two. Deep bend in your front knee, right over your front ankle. Inner rotate the back thigh bone slightly, grounding it into the hip socket. Both thigh bones pressing back to fully open the hips in the side body plane. Tailbone roots down between the sits bones. And then inhale, lift up for peaceful warrior. That left hand reaches around behind the back. Stretching through the fingertips, soften the shoulders down the back. Have one more big breath. And exhale, cartwheel the hands to the mat. Step back, move through a vinyasa, or come to downward facing dog. Finding that balance of effort and ease. Inhale, the left leg high. Exhale, bend the knees, stack the hips, open up through the side body plane. Each inhale, lift the abdomen and the left knee. Each exhale, that right thigh bone back. No crunching in the lower back on the right side as you work. Roll the shoulders back. Have one more big breath as you take the center of the shoulders up and back towards the thigh bone. Inhale, straighten that left leg. Exhale, step it through between the hands. Inhale, rise, warrior one at the top of your breath. Exhale, open to the side, warrior two. Finding that deep bend in the front knee, right over the ankle. Back thigh bone inner rotating slightly as you press both thigh bones back. Allow the hips to open fully in the side body plane. If your knee hurts, listen to it. The tailbone rooting down right between the sits bones gives us the leverage to inhale, lift the abdomen, lift the left arm up, reach the right arm behind the back. Peaceful warrior. Still rolling the shoulders down the back, creating a uniform curve in the neck and throat. Have one more big breath. And cartwheel your hands to the mat. Step back. Come to down dog or child's pose, or move through a vinyasa. Whatever choice you make, anchor the awareness on the breath as you witness what arises, abides, and dissolves in the mind and body throughout your practice. Closing the eyes makes everything a little bit harder, but it gives us a lot of information about our tendencies, and also shows us that you can change just one little thing, and it can make a huge difference. We'll meet back in downward facing dog, and with an inhale, gaze forward, step or jump to feet to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply into the legs. Inhale, drop the seat, arms reach up, chair pose. Exhale, stand tall, Tadasana, mountain pose. Again, inhale, arms reach up, drop the seat. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, gaze forward, get length. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back. Move through a vinyasa or come to down dog. Your choice, no judgment. Inhale the right leg high. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, open to the side, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Keeping that back thigh bone back in line with the knee and ankle of the back leg as you cut the front thigh bone towards the back thigh bone. Stretch the side bodies long. Keep everything stacked in the side body plate as you come down into your triangle pose. Maybe your eyes are still closed. Scan your body from the ground up, noticing where things are getting compressed, making adjustments. Often it's that front thigh bone moving back and the front buttock hugging into the midline of the body that will make space, the right side of the lower back. Breathe length and space into both side bodies and sides of the neck. Press out through the palms to roll the shoulders together down and into the back. Have one more big breath. And with an exhale, cartwheel the hands to the mat. Step back. Move through a vinyasa or come to down dog. Stay with the breath. Inhale the left leg high. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, open to the side, warrior two. Inhale, pull back, peaceful warrior. Exhale, straighten the front leg, keeping the back thigh bone back as you widen it back, cut the front thigh bone back. Come forward and down. All the bones and joints stay stacked in the side body plane as you lift the top arm up for your triangle pose. If the eyes aren't closed, play with closing them now. We notice different things when we work with the body from the inside out. Wherever things feel collapsed, compressed, jammed up, that's a sign to make adjustments, to engage the muscles around those areas. Front thigh bone back, center of the buttocks into the midline of the body. Breathe length and space into both side bodies and sides of the neck. Press out through the palms to roll the shoulders together down and into the back. One more big breath. And exhale, cartwheel the hands to the mat. Step back. Come to down dog or child's pose. Or move through a vinyasa. Feeling the heat that is being generated in the body. Breathing it into the places that are tight and sore and stuck. As you exhale completely, seeing what you can release and let go of. And then we'll meet back in downward facing dog. And with an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Get length through the spine. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, drop the seat, arms reach up, chair pose. Exhale, stand tall. Tadasana, mountain pose. Good. Hands on the hips. Step the left leg back. Both legs are straight. We want our hips facing forward. So the back foot is slightly turned out so the heel can ground. And then we're inner rotating the back thigh to bring that left hip around in line with the right. Tailbone roots down. Lift the abdomen, the heart, the crown. As you exhale, begin to fold forward, hinging at the hips. Pressing the thigh bones back to lengthen the lower back. Keeping the abdomen drawn towards the back body as you stretch the side bodies and the sides of the neck away from the pelvic bowl. And you're welcome to keep your hands on your hips, to interlace them behind your back, or to ground them outside the front foot. But play with closing your eyes. 3 more. I'm falling over. Deep, long breaths. And release the hands to the mat if they're not already there. Inhale, lift the abdomen, lengthen the spine. Keep the left hand grounded inside or outside the right foot. Bring the right hand onto the sacrum, that triangular bone at the base of your spine. It should be flat, parallel to the floor, even on both sides. So pressing the thigh bones back helps to create that length. And then inhale, lift the abdomen. Turn the torso to the right. Lean into the back body to stack the shoulders and open the heart. Maybe lift the right arm up. Press out through the palms to roll the shoulders back. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Gazing down towards the floor can help you find your balance. Gazing straight ahead to align the neck, chin in line with the sternum, jawbone slides back. Maybe gazing up. With an exhale, bring that right hand back to the sacrum. Bend the left knee. Scoot the right knee, Scoot the left fingertips out in front of you. And with an inhale, lift up. Lift the back leg, the hip, the knee, and the ankle, both legs stacked in the same horizontal plane. Inhale, lift the abdomen. And begin to lift the right arm for a twist, a revolved half moon pose. 3 breaths. And with an exhale, release. Oh, standing forward fold. You can shake out the head, shake out the hips. With an inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release the arms. Down by your sides. Good. Hands on the hips. Step your right leg back. The right foot is turned out slightly so the heel can ground. And then inner rotating that back thigh. Bringing the right hip around in line with the left. Root your tailbone down. Pressing through the 4 corners of the feet. As you inhale, lift the abdomen, the heart, and the crown. Exhale, begin to fold forward. Hinging at the hips. Thigh bones press back to lengthen the lower back. Abdomen stays drawn up and back. Take whatever variation in the arms you took on the other side, maybe switching out the crossing of the hands. Play with closing your eyes. 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an exhale, release your hands to the mat. Inhale, lift the abdomen and the gaze. Keep your right hand grounded inside or outside your left foot. Bring the left hand onto the sacrum. Cultivate balance and evenness there. Press both thigh bones back. Again, inhale, lift the abdomen and turn to the left. Maybe lift the top arm up. If you need to find your balance, gaze down. If you need to find the alignment in the neck, chin in line with the sternum, slide the jawbone back. Press out through the shoulders to hug the shoulder blades into the hands, to hug the shoulder blades into the spine, and gaze up. 3 breaths. Exhale that left hand back to the sacrum. Bend the left knee. Scoot the right fingertips in front of you as you inhale. Straighten the left leg, come to stand on it. Back leg extends straight behind you. Toes flex and active, pointing down. Inhale, lift the abdomen and turn to the left. Woo! Maybe you begin to lift that left arm up. Still pressing out through the palms to roll the shoulders back. 3 breaths. And with an exhale, release. Standing forward fold. Shake out the head and the hips. With an inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Come to stand. With an exhale, release them down by your sides. How's everyone doing? Good. I just lost Instagram, so give me 1 second. And we'll get started again. Okay. We're gonna do one more little balancing sequence that I think is super fun and really associate with the third eye. We'll move from eagle pose to half moon. So we will start standing on the right foot. Hands on the hips again works. Slight bend in that right knee. Cross the left knee over the right. And you can double wrap if that feels good to you, but listen to your knees. And then the left arm comes out in front. Right arm wraps around. Garudasana, eagle pose. Lift the upper arms parallel to the earth. Press the forearms away as you roll the shoulders down the back. You can bring your thumb to your forehead to stimulate the third eye center. You can stay right here, connecting to this big picture eagle eye view, or with an exhale, fold forward, bringing the elbows to the knees. Wherever you're working, everything hugs into the midline of the body to cultivate balance. 3 more deep, long breaths. Good. And with an inhale, slowly rise. And as you exhale, unwind, open to the side, lower the right fingertips down, stack the hips, open the heart, half moon. 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an exhale, you can come into a standing forward fold. Letting go of whatever just happened there on that side. And with an inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. And now that you know where you're going, it'll be a little bit easier. So we have that vision, it's easier to get there. Slight bend in the left knee, cross the right knee over the left. You can double wrap if that feels good to you, but not if it strains the knee. Right arm out in front, left arm wraps around. Upper arms parallel to the earth. Forearms press away as the shoulders roll down the back. Thumb to the forehead to stimulate the third eye. Stay here, or with an exhale, as an eagle, hone in on what you want and go get it. Elbows to knees. 3 more deep, long breaths. Everything hugging into the midline of the body. Good. With an inhale, rise. And as you exhale, begin to unwind and open to the side. Left fingertips dive down. Right fingertips lift up. Stack the bones and joints in the side body plane. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an exhale, release. Again, through the mouth with sound. Letting go of any criticalness about how that went. And just taking the information about what your tendencies are and what's going on in your body. With an inhale, gaze forward, get length. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back. Move through a vinyasa, or come to down dog, or child's pose. Actually, let's all meet in child's pose. Taking this moment to check back in with the quality of the breath, the tension in the body, the speed of the thoughts through the mind, and then returning to that intention, that seed, that wish you planted at the beginning of the practice. Remembering that this process of envisioning, calling dreams into being, isn't just like a one-time thing, right? When you plant a seed, you have to water it daily. You have to weed the garden of all the other bullshit that pops up. The process of dream weaving is the same. We return to it daily. Good. With an inhale, you can rise and come to seated. We are actually going to go ahead and do a short little guided visualization meditation right now, because I keep running out of time when I try to wait till the end of class. So we're going to just squeeze it in there. And visualizing is a practice. Visualization is like a muscle. We have to use it. We spend so much time absorbing other people's ideas through media that sometimes we lose touch with our capacity to create within our own minds. So this is a practice for that. And don't worry if you don't see lights shooting out in this moment today, but know that as you are calling upon it and visualizing it, you are connecting energetically and receiving the benefits. So we'll find a comfortable seat. Close the eyes. Lift and lengthen through the crown of the head and the tips of the ears. Bring your awareness to your heart. Picture a golden ball of light in, of, and around the heart. As you inhale deeply, fill the heart. Feel the light get bigger and brighter. And as you exhale completely, soften to occupy the space of yourself more fully. Have a few more breaths like that. Breathing into this golden light at the heart. Feeling it expand, get brighter and stronger with each breath. And with each exhale, settling more deeply into your seat of self. With the next inhale, the top of the heart opens. The golden ray of light shoots through the throat and begins to fill the head with that same radiant golden light, symbolizing that you will allow the head to be led and guided by the wisdom of your heart. With each inhale, these lights fill, becoming stronger and more vibrant. And with each exhale, you settle more fully into your space in the room. Have a few more breaths just like that, stoking these fires, these lights at the head and the heart. And then with an inhale, the top of the head opens like an aperture on a camera, and a golden ray of light shoots up through the roof and the ceiling, through the clouds and the sky. It travels all the way up to the outer edge of the Earth's atmosphere, which is that radiant blue that you see in photographs from outer space. And as your golden beam plugs into the radiant blue edge of the Earth's atmosphere, it branches out, forming a little tree, like 4 feet in diameter, plugging you into the place from which we have unity and collective consciousness. And then as you inhale, you're pulling that radiant blue light down around your little tree beam. Like a spotlight, it travels through the sky and the clouds, through the roof and the ceiling. It envelops you, shooting through the floor, through the earth, and plugging into the golden core at the center of the earth. As it does so, feel everything stabilize. This is the energy intelligence of the universe, your particular frequency. It is always there, providing you with strength, stability, guidance, support, even when we forget about it. Have a few deep, long breaths, breathing that radiant blue light into each and every cell in your being, allowing them to be revitalized and rejuvenated as they are always in the process of and intended to be. And then with an exhale, allow any residual anxiety, self-doubt, criticalness to just bubble off the surface of the body and be reabsorbed back into that radiant blue light. So we are releasing our worries and sending them back to our higher selves to be transmuted and reinvested into the projects that we truly care to create and manifest. Bring the awareness back to the crown of the head and trace that golden light from the head back through the throat and into the heart. With your next exhale, the bottom of the heart opens and a golden ray of light shoots out through the tailbone, through the floor, and through the earth. It plugs into that golden core at the center of the earth. And as it does so, you feel everything stabilize. As above, so below. As within, so without. We are alive, connected, protected. Have a few more deep, long breaths. Breathing in that guidance, that inspiration, that support. And as you exhale, releasing any residual nonsense that is no longer serving you. You can feel free to pose some questions. Set, reset, recommit, revocalize your intentions, or to ask for guidance onto your next right step. Have a few more deep, long breaths here. And then when you are ready, you can gently open your eyes. Okay. What are we gonna do? What time is it? Okay, we're gonna just wind down. We'll do a forward fold. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. Press down through the sits bones and inhale, lift and lengthen through the crown of the head and the tips of the ears. And as you exhale, fold deeply, drawing the heart out past your feet, closing the eyes to climb inside the shape. Be with the breath. Breathe it into those places that feel tight and sore and stuck. And as you exhale completely, see what you can let go of. With an inhale, slowly rise. Bring the soles of the feet together. Reach past the knees and roll the spine out, vertebrae upon vertebrae. Coming to lay on the back with the knees bent, feet in close to the buttocks. Press the back of the head and the shoulders firmly down into the mat. As you inhale, lift the pelvis, the low back, the middle back. If it feels good to interlace the hands behind your back, you can do that. Or just turn the palms to face up to roll the shoulders under. Everything on the ground presses firmly down into the ground to lift the heart away from the upper arms. From the heart, extend out through your knees. And from the heart, extend out through the crown. 3 more deep, long breaths. With an exhale, release the hips. Sway the knees from side to side. So I'm going to guide you into a shoulder stand practice. If that doesn't sound good today to you, you can feel free to just put your legs up the wall or to put your legs up on a chair and just be with your breath. If you want to do shoulder stand, we're going to start with the arms extended overhead, legs extended out along the mat, squeezing in a little core work here as you draw the abdomen towards the spine. Inhale, lift the legs all the way up and overhead to touch the floor behind you. Bring the hands behind you. Maybe you want to interlace the hands to roll the shoulders under. Maybe you want to just bring the hands onto the back. Either way, you're pressing down with the back of the head, the shoulders, and the back of the arms to lift the thigh bones up. And maybe lift one leg and then the other leg to come up into a full shoulder stand. You're also welcome to just stay with the feet on the mat for plow pose. But you want to make sure that you can breathe, that there's no pain in the neck, and that you can actually even speak here. You're welcome to stay here and have 10 deep, long breaths, or to play with crossing the right knee over the left, bending the knees in. The flat part of the knee can potentially find the flat part of the forehead. And then you can interlace the hands behind the back to roll the shoulders under more. If you are here, have 5 more deep, long breaths. If this is something that feels horrible to you, then don't do it, right? Listen to your body. You just want to make sure you're having the same amount of breath on both sides. So bringing the hands back onto the back to support you as you lift the legs and unwind. Cross the left knee over the right, bend the knees. Bring that flat part of your knee into the flat part of your forehead, and then interlace the hands behind your back. Roll the shoulders under for 5 more deep, long breaths. Again, if it feels bad, don't do it. Choose another variation. But it can actually become very calming, grounding, and even restorative. Once you've had 5 breaths on each side, hands onto the back to unwind, extend the legs up, and then drop the legs down behind your head. Reach the arms back overhead to touch the toes, and roll the spine out, vertebrae by vertebrae. Belly button draws into the spine as you slowly lower the legs to the mat with intention. When the legs come down to the floor, you can draw them into the chest. Gently rock from side to side, massage the low back. Then cross the right knee over the left, scoot the hips back to the right side, drop the legs to the left for an eagle-wrapped twist. Again, if this doesn't feel good on your body, back off it and just stack the knees. Breathe length and space into the spine. And as you exhale, soften into the twist, into the grounding of the back body plane, into the wringing out of the habits and patterns that are no longer serving you. With an inhale, return to center. Switch out the crossing of the legs if that feels good to you. Left knee over the right, scoot the hips back to the left, drop the legs down to the right. Still pressing the thigh bone away from the crown of the head. Inhale, breathe the crown of the head away from the pelvic bowl. And as you exhale, soften more deeply into this process of wringing out that creates space for fresh energy, ideas, and opportunities to come through the body and into our worlds when we unwind. Inhale back to center. Reach through the knees to grab the outer edge of the feet for happy baby. The ankles stack over the knees. The hands and feet push and pull on each other. Tailbone roots away from the crown. Head and shoulders grounded. Move in any way that feels good to you here within the confines of the shapes. It is the final pose of the practice. When you are ready, you can relax, release, and open into Shavasana, final relaxation. If there's any discomfort in the lower back, bend the knees, round the feet wide, and let the knees fall together. Palms face up at like a 30-degree angle from the body to roll the shoulders together down and into the back. Return your awareness to the breath. Allow it to be so deep and so long that it touches down into the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. And as you exhale completely, Sink into the support of the ground beneath you. Release any residual tension, anxiety, criticalness. Allow yourself to become an open conduit of light. Take this moment to savor any insights you've received, anything you were able to release from the body or mind through the practice today. And then begin to intentionally deepen your inhales. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Gently sway the head. With an inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Give yourself a big stretch from fingertips to tippy toes. Exhale here. Inhale, draw the knees into the chest. And exhale, roll to the right side body. Use that right arm as a pillow as you pause for a moment. Moving slowly as we transition from the meditative rest of Shavasana back into everyday life. Press down with the palms to lift up. Return to a comfortable seated position. Keep the eyes closed and check back in with the quality of your breath, the tension in your body, the speed of the thoughts through the mind after the practice. And then bring the awareness back and anchor it fully on the breath. We will seal our collective efforts with a single Om. Inhale deeply. Bring the hands to the heart. Bow the head in gratitude for the tools of this practice that remind us that we are collectively weaving this dream and reality. Thank you all for being here. Thank you guys so much. Nice to see your faces. Everybody good, good, good.
Thank you.
Thank you for being so consistent and coming all the time.
Yeah, it's really like I am such a vital part of every one of my days, even if I'm not doing it. Just the thought